So I am here today with Dr. Larry Burchett. He is an emergency room doctor as well as a media contributor and overall amazing person and a good friend of mine. I just wanted to chat with you a little bit. You have such an interesting story. First and foremost, I love how you kind of decided that you wanted to get into medicine. Can you tell us a little bit about how that process happened for you?
Gosh, I feel like I always wanted to be a doctor. The story that I always tell was when I grew up Catholic, and this guy at church, Dr. Quinn, showed. Have I told you this story before?
No, I thought you were going to talk about the accident. But yes, I want to hear
I
this
can
story.
talk about the accident, but really
Yeah.
I wanted to be a doctor when Dr. Quinn showed the slideshow of these cleft palates that he had fixed in the third world. And this was like, this good-looking, successful guy in church, and I was like, that is the coolest thing you could do in the world. I want to do that. This is probably when I was 10. And then when I was 18, at the end of high school, I had a huge car accident that I was in, where I was, life-flighted for surgery. I had this cage. I was in a wheelchair. I had to learn to walk again, and all of this really dramatic stuff. And people always ask me, is that when you wanted to be a doctor? It's like, no, I actually wanted to be a doctor before, but it definitely reinforced and influenced and certainly shaped the
Yeah, I mean, I remember you
whole
saying at
thing.
one point that you felt like you survived for a reason. And that you were meant to do something and you
God.
wanted to serve others. You wanted to do something where you could help others.
Yeah, it's so funny. I just talked about it on the show, like for a whole hour.
Really?
It's the finale of the podcast, Life Can Change in a Moment. It's going to be me talking about that moment. But I feel a little crazy. I don't think I believe in angels, but I think there's part of my brain that was like, you probably should have died in that. You're here for a reason, and it really should be a big one. You got to do something with your life. You got to help people and make a difference, and that was a very real seed that was planted
Yeah.
20 years ago that I'm still chasing down.
Yeah. You know what I think is really fascinating about you is that you did become a doctor, but you didn't need to have the biggest plastic surgery suite in Beverly Hills. Like that wasn't ever your goal or your agenda. You became an emergency room doctor, and you actually have done work like Doctors Without Borders and have gone to third world countries. I mean, it really feels like you do medicine because you really do want to help people.
It's funny. When that Dr. Quinn moment, I think initially I was like, oh, I'm going to be some big, rich, fancy cardiothoracic, some like alpha whatever surgeon. But then when I went to Notre Dame after this accident, I did an internship at the Center for the Homeless. I went to El Salvador. I did all of this stuff that was intertwined with poverty.
Right.
And I think this mission that was really enhanced by this accident of like, I want to make a difference in my life. If you're in the business of doing that, making a difference, like when we're in the United States and you give people blood pressure pills, you have to treat 200 people to save a life.
Right.
When you're in Africa and somebody has malaria, the number needed to treat, it's not 200, it's one.
Yeah.
You give one person medication and they live, and when they would otherwise die, that's like incredibly gratifying. And so I think a lot of us really are into international medicine because it's incredibly rewarding. Like you're making a huge difference.
Yeah.
Rich Americans need to have good medicine too, but it's like, wow, if I'm here to be a doctor and really help people with this stuff.
But even when you're in the States, like you're not working at the emergency room in Santa Monica, you're like down in Compton, really treating people that need help.
It's just a different value set. It's not about, look, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And you can chase mansions and Ferraris and whatever, and if that's your thing, do it, and I want everybody to live their own life and buy what's important to them. But I think there is an added satisfaction literally getting your hands dirty, rolling your sleeves up. I mean, that's the mission of doctors. I never did Doctors Without Borders. I want to one day.
Yeah.
But that's their mission. Like, the mission of that organization is we go where nobody else will go. That's so badass. And where nobody else will go in the U.S. is not Beverly Hills, right? There's a surplus of doctors that want to take care of the rich and do plastic surgery and do Botox and fillers and all this garbage that people make money on.
Yeah.
That, like, that's important. That's got to be good too. But it's totally different world to roll into Compton and try to make a difference there.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And I mean, honestly, you were on The Bachelorette.
Oh, a little
You were on
transition there.
It totally relates. You were on The Bachelorette. There's been so many people in the business that has wanted to make you like the hot, sexy doctor, has wanted to pigeonhole you into something that, I mean, could be attractive, but you've just stuck to your guns so beautifully about not wanting to sell out, not wanting to go that super Hollywood, materialistic, shallow route, but continue to do things that have real worth and value. So I think that's a real testament to your character.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that other path is very seductive.
Yes.
You know, the moment that I kind of learned this the hard way, I was on the Steve Harvey TV show, and I went on that, let's just call it what it was, for a male beauty pageant. This was after The Bachelorette. I was trying to sell my book. Oh, what book? Thank you for asking. The Gentleman's Diet. It's incredible. 10 different meal plans, whatever.
Yeah.
I was trying to sell that book, and they had found me on Match.com and said, hey, we're doing this thing. You got to come on. I was like, if I can talk about my book, I'll do it. And they said, well, we don't know. I said, forget it. Okay, so I was one of like 10 guys, and there was a question and answer session, a suit session, and a bathing suit session.
I remember this.
And I come out in a bathing suit with a stethoscope around my neck. I literally did this. All of these
Can
women.
we pull the footage of that?
All these women at Steve Harvey hooting and hollering. Woo! I mean, like, thank you for the. It would have been worse if they were silent. But they're doing all of this, and like in that moment, it kind of felt good. And literally, I heard this voice coming down from my heart that said, Lorenz, this is not why you went to medical school.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was like, I will never prostitute myself and my degree and this thing for television in that way again. And there have been countless other requests to do the TV dating, whatever. I'm like, been there, done that. Like,
yeah.
That's not who I am.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you're committed to doing larger,
I don't know that I'm
deeper,
getting
better.
anywhere, but at least I'm not selling out,
Well,
right?
it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
God, I hope I make it
You will.
someday, but
Thanks for letting me chat with you.
that's crazy. What are you doing with this footage? What is this about?
It's internal purposes only. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
I don't trust a damn thing that she just
I'll
did.
disclose all that to you later. All right. Thank you so much.
I'm not
We'll be
going on
back
another
soon.
dating show.
Thank you.